Okay, I'm going to try one more today, I think. I'm going to go into the node on matrix containers, and I am going to not only show you what I've done before in one of my tutorials on matrices, I'm going to show, it's not so much a tutorial, just a video to get to know and wrap your head around this, and then I'm going to go into what Rhino has done in the Essential Mathematics. Now, that's a text that you can download. I haven't seen other videos online about it, and curiously enough, I forgot how to do the Python script. So I had to look online and I couldn't find it. All I kept coming up with was flip matrix demos because in tutorials, because the internet's littered with those things because they're so essential for handling geometry. I actually found myself from 6 days ago and had to watch myself and remember what I was doing. So this is getting pretty strange. I always thought the computer was just another mirror. Open it up and it's, looking at self. Anyway, I am going to go through this, and then at the end of it, I'm going to do a little bit of this matrices Ariasis Essential Mathematics. I hope I spelled the name right. There's a little rotation script in here in a Python node for scaling and for revolving geometry. And what's nice about that is you could just grab whatever you want as long. Well, I'm not sure if they'd have to be closed breps. If I put that in, I might have trouble with that. Well, certainly scale-wise, but it looks like the script's actually pretty good. Let me try and jump in here. I'm just kind of touching base on this right now. What if I upsize that? It's not closed, but it's certainly working as a cylinder. So that looks like it's working. So I can actually take any geometry and put it in there. So just like dealing in the Python scripts for a GUID that I was showing on the last one, of course this isn't very exciting to revolve in that axis. If I turn the base onto a different plane, maybe XZ might make it a little more interesting. There you go. Now I can take it into a scale and a rotation. And this is very similar to what I end up doing in full-grammed AR Spark. And what I'm finding is once you go digital, there really isn't any end to what you can keep digital. And when you see what people are doing in research, it's just outstanding. So anyway, I'll leave that there. And actually, I think I'll take that geometry and plug it in into it as well, so we can kind of control a variety of things, just make a mess of this page. Okay, so what I ended up doing when I first tried to understand matrices, if they're new to people, because every time I talk to engineers, they say, what do you think of matrices? What do you think of matrices? Well, I did learn at least matrices can handle doing transformations really nicely if they're 4x4, so 4 rows by 4 columns. So I'm just going to stick with that, not stress it. And I have to put in data, and here I'm just generating numbers up to 16 bits of data. You can see that by my number count here, that I just want to make sure I can fill in all those squares. So that's kind of setting things up, not so parametric. You can deconstruct the matrix, and this is all in the maths tool under matrices, and there's 7 to choose from. I'm sure there's tons of plugins on matrices. Let me ungroup this. So transposing matrix flips it, and you can basically see that. I've got 2 containers going, which is basically the essence of this tutorials to show you what those nodes can contain. And there's always this output of what comes out. So you see the transpose message, things are flipped across the diagonal. You see down here an inverted matrices starts working some negatives. Swapping columns and rows seems to work if they're both the same number. And you do get into the complexities of multiplying matrices and things like that. Like a 4x4 can be multiplied by a 4x1. And that's getting into a whole other area of mathematics and dealing with matrices that you want to go download Essential Mathematics. I think it's the 4th edition by Rhino. Just doesn't look like I'm spelling her name right. So I apologize for that. I'll have to look it up online. But her script that she generates is outstanding. It uses the Python node again, because people that I'm really interested in is, all this scripting, node scripting, it's much simpler if you can wrap your head around it. So it's not simpler. You have to be able to do it. Go into Python script and be able to write your node script, which I visualize. And there's a reason why I left math 25 years ago, because I just couldn't do it, or I was distracted being 20 years old and with many other things in life. So this is it. This is the script. It comes out, and if you look here as this identity matrix, things have been scaled to 0.4, so that's coming right down the diagonal of that matrix, and then you can see the strange rotations and numbers changing off to the side, the -6, -39. Well, where's that being generated? That must be coming through that must be coming through the rotation. So definitely that's the data that's affecting that. which affects the scale, or at least affects this one. I know there's something weird that's happening here with cosines and sines and negative signs. So I think that's cosine theta, negative sine theta, and sine theta. And then all these other things are other data. And you can look that up. You've got to read the guideline book to do it. But what a great little node script to have for any geometry you want to deal with. So what I do is I grab this, and I'm just going to show it because I haven't done it yet. Go into these snippets, open it, and say, okay, I'm pretty sure I don't have any essential mathematics in here yet. And this gets a little funky and jammed up with stuff, but I'm just going to say Raya Isa, because she deserves the credit. Hopefully I said it right. And I'm going to say matrices. And we'll just say 001, or actually we'll say matrices GHPython. And that way I know that I can do certain transformations, and I could say transformations with it as well. And that's done. So now whenever I want this script and I want to pull in any geometry and do things, I've got this wonderful snippet tool, Raya Isa, matrices Python, pull it in here. And what just happened? I pulled in all the geometry. I probably should have taken off those other ones. But needless to say, whenever I generate it, this pops up. And I can do simply what they're doing. Like I said, it's very reminiscent of what was happening in Fologram app, which I'll get into also, which is a pretty cool Fologram app for bringing things out into augmented reality through your phone app. So we'll get into that in time. But needless to say, this is exciting stuff. It keeps getting more complex. I'm going to grab that. I guess it was connected to that, and we'll leave it at that. And that'll be 6-7 minutes in looking at matrices nodes. And keep in mind, these are just to get you trying to open and wrap your head around every single thing that Grasshopper has to offer. So we're going to slow down, and we're going to do something I've never done. I haven't even bothered with capturing times and dates, and I know that's so essential in programming. And there's so many options in the param side for time, or at least it was somewhere around here, like all these time things, and I can't remember where they are right now. But we'll get into that node as a container, and we'll see what we can put into there. Right now it stands empty, so I have to find a way to fill it. Thanks for watching.